We've got some rookie rosters to talk about. Those were just released. Also, we'll talk about some national television news as well as who's left in the free agent market that the Ducks could possibly pluck. We'll talk about all of that on today's Locked On Anaheim Ducks. Let's hit it.
You're Locked On Ducks, your daily podcast on the Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jason JD Hernandez, covering hockey for over a decade. Thanking you for making this your first listen of the day. Don't forget, this podcast is free and available across all platforms, including Stitcher, Spotify, Odyssey. You know the drill. You could find me on Twitter at StimpyJD. The show's Twitter's at LO_Ducks. Let's get right into it today. All right. So rosters just came out, and I'm actually really excited about this because we're going to have an open practice next week, and we're also going to have the Rookie Showdown, which is going to take place at the brand new Tech CU Arena up in San Jose. So first, let's talk about rosters, and this is a kind of important one because there's a lot of players coming back that were on last year's roster. So here we go. Ducks roster for this. It includes, actually, I'll go by goalies first. Your two goalies are Gage Alexander and Braden Peters. Now, Gage Alexander is a name you might remember from last year. Gage Alexander was present at the open practice, and he's a big 6'6" goalie who had a pretty decent season with the Winnipeg Ice of the WHL. He's only 20. He's still getting better. He's a big-bodied goalie that takes up a lot of space, has some pretty decent lateral movement for a guy that's 6'6". The development on Gage Alexander was that he had a couple of little nagging injuries, which slowed him down a bit, and that affected his numbers slightly last season in the WHL. This season, I don't know what exactly is going to be the plan for Gage Alexander this coming season and beyond. I would like to think that beyond, he could be part of the San Diego Gulls organization, possibly be a backup goalie to Lukas Dostal, because right now the Ducks goalies are as follows: Gibby, Stolars, then you have Dostal, and Alexander could be right there as that backup to Dostal, and just in case Gibby does leave, and if Dostal does develop well, then who knows what the Ducks could do there. But the pipeline for goaltending is pretty decent for the Ducks. So I just wanted to get that part over with because I want to talk about the pipeline for a hot minute. Let's go defenseman because this is fun. I love the defenseman that the Ducks have here. Charles Cote, Drew Hellison, he's back. Tyson Hines, Tristan Luneau, Pavel Mintyukov, who was the big draft pick, Luka Profaka, Noah Warren, and Olen Zellweger's back. Yeah. So the only invite was Charles Cote. Everyone else, the Ducks either as a trade or a draft pick. Obviously, there's a big first-round draft pick there from this past draft and a bunch of second-round picks that are doing fairly well. Olen Zellweger had a tremendous season with the Everett Silvertips and even played one playoff game for the San Diego Gulls at Ontario. Should have been two. Just saying. So Zellweger will get a shot at the rookie camp. And Mintyukov is right there. Mintyukov wearing number 34. That's Jamie Drysdale's old number. So Minty is taking Drysdale's old number. Zellweger still at 51. And good to see Drew Hellison back. Hellison had a little bit of time last season with the San Diego Gulls, did decently. And the rest of the guys played in juniors. And here's the fun part, the forwards. You ready for this? I'm going to try to do this in a somewhat order, I guess. Let's go with that, a somewhat order. So first, you have Julian Beland, who is a camp invite. You have Logan Nyhoff, who's a free agent signing. you have Pavel Regenda. If you know that name, Pavel Regenda had a pretty decent outing with Slovakia in not only the Olympics, but in the World Championships, and scored a few impressive goals. So Pavel Regenda is a free agent signing. Pretty good one. Now let's go with another signing, Max Galode. He returns. He did play last season with the Tulsa Oilers and spent a lot of time in San Diego with the Gulls last season, so Max Galode is coming back. Now let's get to the draft picks that the Ducks have had. In some particular order. Sure, why not? Let's start with Sean Shigell, who had an impressive outing in last season's rookie faceoff out in Arizona. I thought Sean Shigell was one of the more impressive guys. He was with the Hitmen and had a decent season, 58 points with the Calgary Hitmen last season. Then you have 2 late first-round picks, Braden Tracy and Jacob Perreault. Now, why are those names familiar? Oh yeah, because they spent some time in San Diego. And one of those guys, actually both those guys played a game with the Ducks. And one of those guys had an impressive Michigan goal last season. Love both of them. I hope they both get some more playing time in Anaheim this coming season. So Tracy and Perreault. Then we have Blake McLaughlin, who was a draft pick 4 years ago for the Ducks. Josh Lapina, last year's pick from, I want to say, the 4th round. Then you have Ben King. Ha ha ha. Don't stand by him. Ben King. Then you have Connor Vidston from Saskatchewan. Then you have Nathan Gaucher. Now, who am I leaving last? Well, I'm leaving 2 guys last for reasons. Sasha Pastujov. Sasha Pastujov is back. He played with the Guelph Storm last season of the Ontario Hockey League. And Sasha's coming to SoCal. He's going to be working out for the next week or so. And he'll be at the open practice next Thursday. And he'll also be part of the rookie faceoff. And last but certainly not least, you know where I'm going. You know who's last. Come on. It's Mason freaking McTavish. McTavish is back at the rookie camp. I think he's going to be the star among stars in that rookie camp. So just a little bit of what's coming up. First, the Ducks are going to be practicing with their vets. They're going to have their rookie practices closed doors over the next few days. Then they're going to have an open practice down in Irvine. That takes place next Thursday. Once again, next Thursday is when we'll be doing all that. And I should be down there for that. So that'll be the open practice. Next Thursday, I believe at 10 or 11 a.m., taking place at Great Park Ice. And then they are off to San Jose immediately after that because they'll be playing in the rookie faceoff. And I'm actually going to take my first intermission right here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the rookie faceoff after the first intermission. So we'll get to that momentarily. But first, let's talk about Built Bar, which is my favorite protein bar. It is packed with at least 17 grams of protein, only 4 grams of sugar, and only on average about 130 to 150 calories. Built bars are good. You have cherry barcia flavor. The Built Puffs are amazing. My favorite flavor still is the Churro Puff. That is available right now on Built.com, as well as Built Go. All the products they have there are terrific. So if you want to check them out right now, head over to Built.com and use promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off your next order of Built Bar, the best tasting protein bar ever. All right, let's talk about the rookie face-off, shall we? The rookie face-off is taking place next weekend in San Jose. So as I mentioned, they're going to be leaving after the practice, heading up. They're going to face San Jose on opening night, Friday, September 16th at 7 p.m. Now, no word if that's going to be televised. I would assume, like last season, that they're going to have the rookie challenge probably on Ducks.com, and that's about it. So that's what I would expect to happen. So Ducks versus Sharks on that Friday. Then Sunday, September 17th, afternoon game, 4:30 p.m. against the Arizona Coyotes. And I kind of want to briefly go over who's on the Coyotes roster. There's some interesting names on there, I guess. First off, there's Jeremy Langlois, who played in juniors last season. He was a third-round pick for the Coyotes, defenseman. There's also a couple of interesting names as far as forwards go. Of course, you have Connor Geekie, who was one of the first-round picks for the Coyotes last season. You had some other guy by the name of Dylan Genther. I guess he's pretty good. I guess so he's gonna be there. Ryan McGregor, an interesting free agent signing. Ryan McGregor did play in the AHL last season, so he'll be back. Ben McCartney played mostly with Tucson last season and had a couple games with the Coyotes, so he's had a cup of coffee. And another name that kind of piqued my interest just because I've seen how he works is Liam Kirk. Liam Kirk did play some games in Tucson last season, and he has an interesting little shot. That's someone that I'm going to keep my eye on against Arizona. So those are some names to watch out for if you're going to watch that game on Sunday. Then on Monday, September 19th, they're playing Vegas. 12:30 p.m. Pacific. That's the early game taking place at TechCU Arena. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one, folks. And speaking of that Vegas roster, now, okay, that's a roster that's been pretty decimated because of all their cap issues and trying to get trades and whatnot. So Vegas prospects, I mean, they're going to get scored on a lot. Their two goalies for the rookie camp are Isaiah Seville and Jesper Vikman. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck on that. Defensemen, not really a whole lot to talk about there to write home about. They have Daniil Chaika, who's a second round pick. He was pretty decent in the OHL. You have Leighton Ahak, who was okay last season with Henderson. He didn't really stand out to me a whole lot, and neither did Caden Korzak. So those are the defensemen for Vegas. And as far as forwards, you have Mason Primo, who spent all of last season with Henderson. He was a guy. He was there. He existed. Gosh, that Vegas. Daniel D'Amato played in Henderson last season as well. Oh yeah, Brendan Brisson, who played with Michigan, had a great season in Michigan, came to Henderson, scored some points, was pretty impressive, first round pick. So there's some names in Vegas and there's some names in Arizona, and of course San Jose has a couple of really good players. Some guy by the name of Bordeleau, I guess he's pretty good. Some guy named William Eklund, yeah, I guess he's okay. So those are some of the names on the rookie rosters. And don't forget, those games will likely be on Ducks.com, so keep an eye out for that. And also, keep an eye out for some more news regarding the rookie camp. And, if you guys want to check out the rookie games out there, JD Young, who just came on from Locked On Sharks, he talked about the facility up in San Jose, the brand new one. I can't wait to go up there to check out a couple of the recruited games. I heard it's really nice. So, yeah, if you guys want to think about checking that out, it's a 6-hour drive from Anaheim. Go ahead and cheer on the future of the Anaheim Ducks. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. All right, let's see. Are we over on time? Yeah, we're not quite over on time. So I want to briefly touch on the national TV lineup that the Ducks have coming up. So there was a tweet that went out that the Ducks have 14 television broadcasts nationally. Yeah, that's a lot, including opening month. There's 2 games, one on ESPN, one on TNT. The ESPN game at Detroit. Oh, that's gonna be spicy, folks, because you've got the runner-up from the Calder last season versus the winner of the Calder from last season. Ooh, how's that gonna go? Zegras and Mo. I know it's different positions, but you know what? I look forward to all the talk once again. Oh, Zegras should have been rookie of the year. It should have been him. Well, no, he was good as a defenseman. He should have been rookie of the year. No, he deserved, like, okay, you know what? 1, 2, whatever. They both had terrific rookie seasons. They're both going to be teams that are on the uprise. So whether you agree that Zegras should have won the Calder or not, it's still going to be fun. So let's just enjoy the ride. Then on TNT, 3 days later, Ducks versus the Lightning. It could be Corey Perry's final game at the Honda Center because there's no word whether Corey Perry will come back after next season or not. This is the last year of his contract. It's also the last year that he gets paid by the Ducks. He's getting older, and I personally would think that this might be Corey Perry's final season with the Lightning, and it will very likely be his final season in the National Hockey League. So I would think that the fans would want to come out and give him a nice little send-off. So that's on TNT. Then you have an ESPN game at San Jose, a TNT game against Minnesota. You have a TNT game against Vegas, another ESPN game against the Kings. Friday, February 17th. That's now a 6 o'clock game. I'm guessing because it's a holiday weekend. Sure. Then TNT March 8th against the Canucks. Oh, Vancouver, they're interesting. JT Miller signing. Oh boy. Then you have a couple of April matchups on TNT against Edmonton and against Colorado. Ho, ho, ho. I look forward to those games. Then there's some ESPN Plus games, 2 at Seattle and 2 against San Jose and 1 against New Jersey. So you can check out the national TV schedule on the Ducks website. But yeah, 14 nationally televised games. The Ducks are going to get a lot of attention, and rightly so. I mean, when you have these young guys like Zegras, McTavish, Drysdale, etc., and you have some new guys coming on the lineup, you have Klingberg, you have Strome, like, this Ducks team is going to be fun to watch, and good for the powers that be to say, you know what? We want this team nationally. Let's put them on a little more than usual. So I like it. I cannot wait. All right. We're going to head to the second intermission and talk a little bit about free agents that are still left. And one of them could be eyeing Anaheim. Yeah, we'll get to that on the other side. Welcome back to Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. You're locked in with Jason JD Hernandez, and we're going to talk a little bit about free agency. The reason is because on the 32 Thoughts podcast earlier this week, apparently Evan Rodriguez might, I'm going to stress this, he might be linked with the Ducks. The Ducks are one of several teams that Evan Rodriguez is narrowing down as his next NHL stop. So Evan Rodriguez last season scored 43 points with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He essentially became the Mark Donk of Penn's players because he hadn't scored above 30 points before that, and he's never even scored double-digit goals before last season. But hey, here we are. Maybe it was the Sabres. I mean, he did okay in Buffalo, but maybe it was just Buffalo. Maybe it's the Jack Eichel effect. Who knows? But he's been flourishing in Pittsburgh. In 3 seasons, he's got 58 points. Pretty decent. Last season, he exploded for 43 points, 19 goals, both career highs. He's kind of one of those sneaky, decent kind of guys that could be part of your middle six, I'd say he could be your middle six kind of guy. He wouldn't normally be a first line, maybe even a second line guy. But if you can plug him into that third line, that'd be pretty decent. He'd be a terrific fourth line guy, but I could see him being a 3-4. So realistically, I would say a great bottom 6 addition for the Anaheim Ducks, who, by the way, I think I mentioned this last time, but the Ducks, they did recently sign Klingberg. I talked about that. And they did just get Dmitry Kulikov last week. So, I mean, there was that trade for future considerations. But right now, the guys that are left as far as free agency is concerned, it's not a whole lot of guys left. I mean, it is slim pickings. I think the Ducks are pretty much set, but there's still some names out there that could sign pretty soon. I mentioned Evan Rodriguez. How about, Frank, Sonny Milano? He's not signed. I mean, where's he going? He got 34 points last season, 14 goals. He had a pretty strong season. So where is he going to wind up? Is he going to be a camp invite? I guess we'll find out in the next maybe 2 weeks. I guess. So those are two names still available. How about, I don't know. I mean, there's Victor Rask. Although Victor Rask is definitely a center, and I don't think the Ducks need another center. And of course, there's PK Subban. Could have a show me contract. I actually fully expect him to get some kind of show me contract. I don't know, somewhere, I guess. So those are some names that are left. But Evan Rodriguez, I could see being a solid third liner. Like, I could see third line for the Ducks for Evan Rodriguez. And he could get maybe $1.5 million, 1.5, maybe more. Wouldn't be a bad way to go. The Ducks already have some good wingers on their roster. They have a Henrique. They have a Vetrano, who they just got. They have a Comtois. They have a Max Jones. And, who am I forgetting? Oh, some guy named Troy Terry, who, by the way, we'll have a little show about him on Saturday. Some of y'all know why. So, yeah, I think Saturday's show will be almost all about Troy Terry and the greatness that is Troy Terry. So that's coming up over the weekend. In fact, I think we're going to wrap it up for this particular podcast because, I did want to talk mostly about the rookies and the rosters. I mean, that was the bulk of this podcast. So once again, next Thursday, open practice, open to the public. That'll be at Great Park Ice down in Irvine, California. It's a beautiful facility, one of my favorites. Do check it out. All right, don't forget this podcast is free and available across all platforms, including Stitcher, Spotify, Odyssey, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, etc., etc. You could follow me on Twitter at StimpyJD, and the show's Twitter is at LO_Ducks. If you want to drop me an email, lockedonanaheimducks@gmail.com is the email address. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Once again, next episode will be on Saturday. That is going to be a fun one. That's going to do it for today. Thank you so much. Thank you for your continued support. It is greatly appreciated. For Locked On Anaheim Ducks, I'm Jason JD Hernandez saying have a great rest of the week. Please continue to be safe out there. Be kind to one another, and Ducks fly together.